Hope you're not laboring too hard on this Labor Day weekend. Welcome on in to another edition of the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we will look at the Baltimore Ravens schedule, and I will give you my crystal ball predictions for 2022 with a breakdown of every single game this year. We will go ahead and start by looking at the schedule itself. Let's run through these. It begins on September 11th with a road game in New York against the New York Jets. Then a matchup, the home opener against the Miami Dolphins on the 18th of September. They wrap up the month of September at the New England Patriots. October begins against the Super Bowl favorites, the Buffalo Bills at home. Then the first primetime game for the Ravens will be on October 9th against the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. October 16th, it's another trip to MetLife Stadium, this time against the New York Giants. Then a home game against the Cleveland Browns, and the Ravens will round out the month of October with their first ever Amazon Thursday Night Football game as they take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road. To begin the month of November, the Ravens will have a matchup with the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football, followed by a bye week the week of November 12th. Then you move ahead to November 20th. The Ravens will host the Carolina Panthers, followed by a road game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then December 4th, a home game against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, followed by a home contest against the Pittsburgh Steelers on December 11th. And then a date to be determined. We still don't know if it will be December 17th or 18th. The Ravens will face the Cleveland Browns on the road, and the Ravens will round out the season Christmas Eve against the Atlanta Falcons, followed by New Year's Day against the Steelers, and then the final game of the regular season, still to be determined what date, whether it's January 7th or 8th, will take place against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. So, with that, before I give you my picks, let's hear your picks in the comments section. Predict the Ravens' record in 2022. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Let me know how you think your Baltimore Ravens will fare this season. So here are my predictions now. I have the Ravens starting out 3-0 with wins against the Jets, Dolphins, and Patriots. But then taking on this Buffalo Bills team that's just so stacked with Josh Allen and company, I think ultimately is going to be too much, but it should be a really good game. I do have them winning against the Bengals on Sunday Night Football the week following. But let's go ahead and look at that Bills game in particular. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, two of the best young quarterbacks in football. This game is going to be an electric factory, folks. It will be must-see TV, and I can tell you that you Raven fans are going to be so excited, and all week long, I'm sure there's going to be discussion about who's the better quarterback, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, of course, a former MVP, but Josh Allen has played so good as of late. Both quarterbacks in the same draft class. They're going to be compared to each other for a very long time. So with that said, is Josh Allen better than Lamar Jackson? Now's your chance to weigh in and let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes or N for no if you believe Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson. Curious how Ravens feel on that one. I'm sure you'll get a little animated with your thoughts on that. Let me know. Y for yes, N for no if Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson, and we'll see how that showdown goes coming up later on this year. Got a great deal that we are offering Ravens fans as we have Ravens jerseys available at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. And whether you want to represent Mark Andrews or Lamar Jackson or even Odafe Owe or Ray Lewis, we have everything in all shapes and colors and sizes and everything in between available right now at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Get yours today. Wall supplies last. It's the best deal around, so you can be rocking out with your flock out here on the Ravens Rundown. Get your jerseys at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. And all these players, whether it's from the past or from the present, we have them all covered for you in one place. Chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Let's move ahead to the next part of the schedule. October 16th, the New York Giants, let's just face it, are not a very good football team. That should be an easy win on the road. You take on the Browns without Deshaun Watson at home. That should be a win. But then going up against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football, I don't feel good about that one. Tom Brady still, I think, has a lot left in the tank at this point. I'll be honest with you. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I find it hard to root against this guy, and I'm not betting against Tom Brady at home. Sorry. Then you take on the Saints on Monday Night Football, November 7th. That Saints team, I think, is going to be one of the most improved teams in the NFL this year. I think Jameis Winston and company, they're going to make some good strides going forward, but this Ravens team, I think, is still better on both sides of the ball than what that Saints team brings to the table. But let's focus in on that Tampa game there for a second here. Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, the Bucs brought in so many weapons this year. The matchup, everyone I know is going to focus on the quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. But what about the Ravens secondary, which we have documented many times on this program before, I believe is the best secondary in football, going up against that receiving core in Tampa, which includes the likes of Mike Evans and Russell Gage and company. I mean, Julio Jones. It is a loaded group. You could argue this is the best receiving core that Tom Brady's ever had. To me, that's going to be quite the matchup. Beyond just the quarterbacks, the wide receivers versus the corners, it will be a terrific game on Amazon's Thursday Night Football. And probably the last time the Ravens will face Tom Brady, I would think. So I'm very curious, Ravens fans. You've seen a lot of Tom Brady, some great matchups between the Ravens and Tom, in particular when he was in New England. How bad do you want to beat Tom Brady one more time? After all the pain and the misery this man has put the Ravens and many other teams through over the years, how bad do you want to beat Tom? Scale it for me. Type 1 through 10 in the comments section and let me know how bad you want to beat this man one more time before he calls it quits. Let me know in the comments section. We're going to be covering this Ravens team all throughout the season as we count you down to kickoff, covering every game with the latest news, rumors, trades, free agency, and everything in between. It's right here all in one place, the Ravens Rundown. We just passed 7,000 subscribers. I owe you the Ray Lewis stance. I will get to it, I promise. Today is not that day, though. We'll get there eventually, folks. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. So you are caught up to speed with everything going on with your favorite team right here on the Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV to become an award-winning subscriber today. That's youtube.com/RavensTV. November 20th, the Ravens take on the Panthers, Baker Mayfield and company. That should be a win at home. And against the Jags on the road, the Jags with Trevor Lawrence, I think they'll be better than what they were last year, but that team is still a hot mess. The game against Denver to begin December is going to be really good. Russell Wilson and company, his first year there. I think the Ravens win that one as well and rattle off 3 in a row there. But then once you get to these division games in December, at the Steelers, I hate to say it, but that feels like a loss to me. I don't think it's realistic that you can pick either team to sweep that series. It feels like almost every year the Steelers and the Ravens, no matter their records, end up splitting that series one way or the other. I'll give the Steelers the edge in the home game. And the Browns game, Deshaun Watson back in Cleveland, man, that's hard to prepare for. And the tape on Deshaun Watson is going to be very limited on how to scout him and how he's doing with that Browns offense by that point because he would not have been back very long. That's a tough matchup. I think the Browns win that game there, but it's going to be fun. I got to tell you, these two, they hate each other, obviously. And then you add in, I think, the most unlikable quarterback in the league, probably unlikable player in Deshaun Watson. It's going to be nasty, that game there. Very intriguing and playoff implications on the line besides just the division, I would think, Week 15 between Baltimore and Cleveland. To round out my predictions, Christmas Eve, a win against the lowly Falcons. I think the worst team in football. Then New Year's Day, that's when the Ravens get their revenge on the Steelers and win that one. And then to round out the regular season, another game against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, this time in Cincinnati. Kind of like what we talked about with that Steelers matchup earlier. It's the Bengals are too good to expect to sweep both those games. You win one, you probably lose the other. The Bengals, I think, aren't as good as this Ravens team. I have the Ravens winning the division this year, And it very well could play out where that week the Ravens may be sitting their starters and the Bengals are having to play their starters to get a wild card spot in the playoffs. With that, I have the Bengals winning that final game of the regular season, getting it done. So those are my picks. I want to know, before we wrap things up, as we're counting it down to kickoff here in the channel, what matchup are you most excited for? Of all those games there, I can tell you this season, reach up there and pull those belts tight, folks, because it is going to be a put the hammer down season. Going to be exciting from start to finish. What matchup are you most excited for your Baltimore Ravens this year? A lot to choose from, whether it's Tom Brady and the Bucs coming to that trip, or whether it's Deshaun Watson and the Browns, that contest. So many to choose from. What matchup are you most excited for? Let me know in the comment section below. So with that, my official prediction is a 12-5 record for the Baltimore Ravens, resulting in a division title. I think they'll take that. You'd feel pretty good heading into the playoffs with momentum. And to me, that would be doable. Once you get beyond 12 games in this league, that is so tough to accomplish, and there's a lot of talent in the AFC. This is a tough conference this year. 12 wins, I think you'll take that. You'll march ahead to the playoffs and see what you got from there. But that's my official prediction, and we'll see what happens. We'll be covering it here on the Ravens Rundown. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend.